Over the years, St. Patrick's Day has become an excuse for many of us to dumb down our senses with too many pints of green-dyed beer. But in reality, St. Patrick was a deeply spiritual and connected man. He lived with a heightened awareness. And as we reflect on St. Patrick's Day and what it's all about, really it's about living in a heightened state of sensing God's nearness and His presence and the reality that heaven is real and that God's love is real. I had the opportunity in the fall of 2010 to make a visit to the Bangor Abbey. Before the Abbey was even built, there was a valley, and there was this lush green valley, and St. Patrick and his companions came across this valley, and they saw it filled and illuminated with angels, and they heard a sound of a choir singing and worshiping God. And St. Patrick called this place a valley of angels, and he said this was a thin place, a place where the atmosphere between earth and heaven was thin. I had a real sense in my heart that Jesus was saying to me, Adam, I want to make you a thin place. I want to make my church a thin place. St. Patrick himself was a man who had many divine encounters with God because of his life of prayer and his devotion to God. Literally, he himself was a thin place between heaven and earth where God could speak to people through his life. A lot of times these thin places that I'm talking about are described as even places in nature of extreme beauty where you become aware of the majesty and the beauty of God all around you. It can be 20, 30 minutes, but where we take time to get out of our routine, to go be in nature, and to just, almost like you would tune the radio knob in your car to a certain station, to tune your heart to hear God's voice. I believe that we can all encounter those thin places regularly in our lives, and God wants us to. And so these encounters, these thin places that we encounter God, are vital for our continued transformation. You and I are on a journey. Our salvation is being worked out every day, where we become less like people who live trapped in fear and people who live in freedom. People who move from being timid and cowardly to being bold as lions. And we've got to encounter His presence to continue that transformation in our lives.